Hey everyone, Rabbit Hedgehog here, and we want to thank our sponsors before the start of this video. Shout out to Law Tigers out there riding with us right now, but standing with us in the event of an accident. Need custom racing leathers or gear for the everyday ride? AGV Sport USA is here for that, and based out of Argyle, Texas, and serving riders nationwide. Also, we want to thank Doug Crawford, an independent AMSOIL dealer, for providing us with the fluids that keep our machines running well on into the future. Visit the description below for web links and contact details to get in touch with them today. What's up, everybody? This is the Rabbit Hedgehog with Indian Motorcycle of Oklahoma City. And again, I am taking out one of our used bikes, and this is actually one that I really want to take out because this is the 2006 Honda 599 Hornet. A bike that, back in my high school days was one of the bikes that most of us coveted and even thought about getting. Especially those who are looking toward sport biking and some other stuff. Of course, this one being a naked bike. It is still a 599cc four-cylinder, as you can see there. Very nicely compact motorcycle. And I love that little stitching there for the Hornet. But this is a pretty nice bike. Tail-tidy already installed, so the turn signals are integrated in there. And it does have aftermarket LED style all-day running lamps that flank the main headlight as well. So some additions have been added to it. For the most part, everything else is stock. It does have the Dominator type exhaust on there as well. So some nice things, some frame sliders. Overall, though, really good condition motorcycle. Of course, this one is one of the last Hornets that's actually carbureted. So you do have to use the choke that's here on the left side. Brights there, turn signals, horn there. Aftermarket levers that are adjustable, engine cutoff switch and start. Little aftermarket USB power added to this as well. We'll go ahead and turn that on. Nice and simple gauge cluster here. Temperature of water, tachometer. You have your clock, total mileage right now 19,299. Fuel gauge over to the left. Speed, turn signals, oil light, bright, and service engine. Pretty much not very much here. No gear indicator, nothing like that. Seat height is pretty small, actually. You can see I do have a bend down there. So I sit on it nice and comfortably. It's not too terribly tall where it's getting out of hand or anything. So very nice seating position. It is a colder day today, so let me get that popped on there and start her up and let her go. And let her warm up a little bit. This one does have an additional GV windscreen on it as well. I have no idea what that power is. Sometimes you get a used bike and you get a few things on there that you're not quite expecting. So might be underglow or something attached to that, or at least there was underglow. Flip it, why not? Well, I don't see anything though. Turn that back off. No telling when it comes down to people's modifications. They just happen. But other than that, starts up nice and clean. Get that transmission down there. Let's do a little check on the friction zone. So you go out 1, 2, about 3.5 to 4, and you finally start moving there. So a little bit far out there on the friction zone. Of course, this is the classic Japanese four-cylinder, liquid cooled on this one. But for real, we got a good day to test it because it is 30-mile-an-hour winds. How does this thing handle these winds on this road, being such a light motorcycle and such a compact motorcycle? It's good to be back on a standard style motorcycle. I've ridden many kinds of standards so many times and miss them sometimes. I do love my cruisers though, because I can go a lot longer distance on a cruiser than I can on a sport naked or standard bike or anything like that. So it's good to play with these though. These are fantastic for getting around town for sure, because you can pretty much throw them anywhere. They're so narrow and nimble. It's just a good little partner to have. Again, apologize for the wind today. I'm either fogging up or getting wind, so I'm trying to keep the visor in the right spot. But it is what it is when you're in Oklahoma. Such a smooth rider. I know I haven't got to go too far yet. But it's got quite a bit of power for a little 600 basically. It just wants to go. And I mean, you have a red line all the way up to 13,000 RPM. So this thing is not being taxed at all. It just wants to go. And it has a nice sound coming out of that Dominator pipe. But it feels good to be on the Honda Hornet. I'll go ahead and get her up to the top gear, and we are in 6th gear now. I'm pretty sure it's a 6-speed. I'll test that here in a moment. I should have counted, but I wasn't. There's no gear indicator on these. But that's okay. Sitting on top of the motorcycle, the ergonomics, of course, are a little bit more cramped than what we are used to. I am 6 foot tall, 32-inch inseam, 209 pounds. This is kind of a small motorcycle, but the mirrors are nice and visible. I do see a little bit of my arms in each mirror, but I can clearly see the lanes of traffic next to me and what is going on behind me like I need to. The wind coming off of this little GV is actually not too bad at all, but then again, it doesn't offer that much protection, but it is keeping a buffet off of my helmet, which I appreciate. One thing I will say is that the seating position is very conventional for your standard motorcycle. So I am tucked in pretty decently. My feet are going down at an angle to the knee and then back over to my feet being down about where my hip is. And then I am bending forward on my back. Shoulders are somewhat down and then stretched out and forward on the arms to the handlebars. So very much your standard riding position. Knees are nice and tucked against the tank though. So very good area for that. Giant feet fit the pegs just fine, and I appreciate that quite nicely. One thing is, on the suspension on this motorcycle, being a 2006, I mean, this thing is approaching 20 years old. It is hard to think about that. I know I passed up my 20th anniversary from high school graduation and all that, and this thing is about to do that as well. So it's hard to think that that far back is now 20 years ago. So the suspension on this is non-adjustable on the front, and preload adjustable in the rear, mono-shock style, and to be honest, it has held up very nicely over the years. It's been taken care of, it feels like, and of course it is an inverted fork on this motorcycle, and it rides very, very compliantly and not too bad over these roads that we have here in Oklahoma. Even in top gear, giving her a rip, she feels really well. She doesn't feel carbureted at all. It's very precise fueling going into the 599 from the carburetor. This one's of course being a last generation of carburation, so it has some wizardry in the electronics department to help aid that as well. But other than that, it is still very an old school ride because we do not have ABS, so we die like real men and women who are riding these machines if we so screw up the braking. But it is a very comfortable little ride. There's a little bit of buzzing down at the pegs, but it doesn't translate to the bars whatsoever. The 4-cylinder, the 599 that is under me right now is just happy to be moving along. 65 miles an hour here. We are at around 4,800 or so RPM. So this engine all the way up to 13 grand, if you think about it, has a long way to go in this engine. And to be real, we are not quite halfway to its top speed. Reportedly, the top speeds on these motorcycles is around 140 miles an hour, which is really good for this little platform. Of course, we know that that means with a short wheelbase and that much horsepower, this can be a wheelie monster and a fun motorcycle. We will not be testing that out today. We are just going to test out how it rides and hangs with traffic and just enjoy the old school nature of this lovely inline 4 from Honda. This kind of ride definitely brings you back, and it is just mesmerizing. And like I said, the power on it is actually strikingly good, and it fuels really well. I mean, you can just take right off right there and climb right up speed. Like I said, top gear, don't really need to drop a gear, disappear, but if you did, it definitely will comply. So, heck of an engine in this thing. Transmission is spot on. Nice and crisp shifts coming out of that little transmission. Very happy. Alrighty, as we come to drop around, we're going to test some braking and also the engine braking on this as well. Downshifts are nice and crisp. Rev matching, easy to do. Got a nice little burble going out from the back there. Ooh, I love that sound. I wish that I could get the audio to work to pick that up, but it's every time you get down, boom, 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 boom. It's really neat sounding. Yeah, turns really well. Just puts a smile on your face. Got to be careful of all that salt and sand there. What a fun blast from the past and great motorcycle all around. If you guys are looking for one that is not exuberantly priced or anything and looking for a great ride to run around town, get some errands done, have some fun with friends, whatever you're looking to do. The cool thing is these bikes are a good all-arounder, and there's still quite a bit of support for them out there in terms of aftermarket supplies and stuff, because this is a bike that sold very well internationally and for a long time. And it just rides so well. The ergonomics are very nice. Everything is nice and compact and just easy to approach, easy to ride, very forgiving, yet very powerful at the same time. So it's a bike that can be used by both new and very experienced riders, and somebody's going to get everything out of it, and it will be happy to give you everything it's got, along with somebody who's brand new, who doesn't know how to get everything out of it. It's just going to ride happily wherever you are in your riding life, and that is the sign of a great all-around motorcycle. Again, when I was younger, I actually coveted this motorcycle quite a bit and really wanted a Honda Hornet at some point in my life, and This is meeting your hero and loving your hero. This thing is just fantastic. You would not expect it to be a 599. It definitely feels like it punches well above its weight, and it's absolutely a blast. Right now, like I said, we're in wind of 30 plus miles an hour again. You can see by the flags over there, they're quite straight out there. And we're getting hit with wind directly into it, and a little bit of a crosswind actually, slightly south and easterly winds today. And it is holding its track rather well. It is not really being tossed around like one would expect for a lighter motorcycle. It doesn't get caught in the rain grooves with the tires either. You don't feel it wallowing or anything of that nature. It's really nice and tight and a very compliant ride. You can see a little bit of wind push there that I had to adjust for, but it's not anything that an experienced rider that's been riding for as long as some of us have would notice. We just automatically adjust for it, and it's very quick and easy. It communicates really well. You're very one with the machine. It's that one-to-one with the machine that I definitely love about the older machines, and the way that you as a rider have to put some effort into it and put some thought into it. And it's just great to go back to that style of ride every now and again, so that way you and the machine can have a talk, and that's when true motorcycling begins. So this is definitely a motorcycle for an enthusiast as well, that just wants to feel like they're riding their old friend again. Zips in and out of traffic beautifully, and has all the power you need. I mean, it's got enough power to get everybody in trouble. I'm just trying to take it easy, and it's trying to wander up to 70 pretty easily here. It's just having a blast on its own. It's not skipping a beat, nothing. Just rides super well. Like I said, that transmission, the engine, the fueling, the seating position, the mirrors, everything is just spot on the way it needs to be. Man, this is just a great ride. That's why I'm being silent, because it's just a fantastic, smile-inducing ride. Alrighty, get back over. That suspension isn't wearing on me at all. The longer I've been on it, it still feels very nice. There's a little bit of a chop in the front end. It's, you know, more designed for a lighter rider for sure. But to be real, I'm not feeling that much chop or anything. It's compliant very nicely, especially this bridge with the joists and all the expansions and everything I'm hitting and all that. It's gliding over it pretty decently. There is a little chop carrying over into my voice, like I said, from that front suspension being a little bit undersprung for my weight, but that's not on the bike itself. That is me being fat, so I'm gonna be real. Like I said, these downshifts are nice. You can go ahead and get everything well planned. Ergonomics are perfect. The feet hit where you expect them to hit. Controls are in great spots. Everything's reachable. Everything is selectable, changeable, mashable, clickable. It's just a nice ride. Woo-hoo-hoo! good behind. Yeah, definitely a 6-speed. I counted it out this time. The brakes are very nice on it. Grab real sharp, but easy to modulate. Feels real nice to the touch. Back brake's great. Front brake's great. Golly! First gear is tall and potent. Definitely comes more alive right around that 6,000 mark. Absolutely a fun ride if you're looking to relive the glory days of the Honda 4-cylinders or any Japanese 4-cylinder from the early part of the 2000s. Absolutely fantastic rider, very comfortable, runs like a freaking champ. Engine just does not feel that small. It's got plenty of pull, and it just definitely wants to have some fun. So at any rate, it is great to be on the Honda Hornet 2006 model. Like I said, I wanted one of these when I was younger, and being able to ride one now for the first time. I've never got to ride one when I was younger or any time since I was an adult. And I want to thank my sponsors, Law Tigers of Oklahoma, for being out there and supporting our community of riders, and also keeping us protected in the courtroom from the insurance companies and all the things that happen there. I also want to thank Doug Crawford and USA Synthetics for AMSOIL products that protects the inside of our engines, and AGV Sport USA for protecting our riders and our team. At any rate, keep that shiny side up, folks, and we'll catch you on the next ride.